afternoon. How much would you say that the benefit has been from the surge in North America Class 8 truck orders that you witnessed over the last 6 months? And do you expect this kind of momentum to sustain for the second half too?
You know, the Class 8 truck market is not such a big portion of our business as everybody thinks. But clearly, yes, that is at a very high level, and I think we have benefited, and it's likely to remain at a very high level throughout this year and throughout next year. So it's going to be pretty good, at least for the next 2 years.
Trade war impact, anything investors should be worried about? To what extent do you see demand getting affected? I know this is early days, but I think given your exposure to the business there, one would just want to get a handle on things.
No, we don't see any issues at all.
Okay, you don't see this matter escalating into something that can, because the underlying thought is that it may impact demand if tariffs are imposed, and that may, then trickle down to the growth numbers.
I don't think so. At least we don't see it.
Okay.
We are winning new orders every day. We're getting higher market shares. If that was so, we would not be in that position. Our passenger vehicle business is increasing dramatically. So, everything looks good.
Encouraging to hear. Mr. Kalyani, what was your revenue mix like between exports versus domestics? And if you're saying export demand is looking good, will there be stronger growth potential through the overseas market?
Yeah, we continue to see a pretty strong demand on exports. We have a very large basket, and we have a very large geographic mix between North America, Europe, South America, China, and Japan. So it's not just one country or one territory. And in that we have commercial vehicles, we have passenger cars, we have utility vehicles, we have industrial products, we have oil and gas. So it's a fairly strong mix. Construction equipment, which is booming right now all over the world. So things are looking pretty good.
It's reflective in your earnings as well for the quarter. So tell me, what part of your sales comes from Europe, and have you seen a shift of change in demand there lately because of the impending Brexit? Or do you think Europe as a geography is going to continue to grow at the level it has and maybe even outpace that?
We have very little sales in the UK. So as far as Brexit is concerned, I don't think it has any impact on us. All our sales are in Germany, Scandinavia, Italy, which is largely, Scandinavia and Central Europe. So, and there things are actually looking better and better because we see more business coming in that direction, at least on the pass car side. So, things are good in almost all markets. Even the Indian market is looking good. So, right now I think we are in a fairly strong upcycle almost everywhere in the world.
Touch wood to that. But tell me, do you see the next 2 to 3 quarters, Mr. Kalyani, getting impacted in any which way because of the volatility in the CV demand on the back of new axle load norms? Because there's still, not enough clarity on whether or not it's going to be on a prospective or a retrospective basis and how this is going to impact the CV industry.
No, it doesn't matter whether it is prospective or retrospective. I don't think that is an issue. I think the issue is, it's not going to impact the CV industry. What it is going to impact is what models of CVs are going to be made. So you will see a model mix change happening, and since heavier loads are allowed, I think you will see more heavier models coming out rather than lighter models. So I think overall, I would not, lose my sleep on that. I don't think there's going to be any major change.
Even the redesigning costs of those vehicles, as you pointed out?
That's the OEM's job. Now, if you look at the OEMs, people who have capability to shift their models quickly will gain, clearly. And people who don't have that capability will lose. So, I can't comment on it. I think it's largely with the OEMs, but I think they're fully aware of this problem, and I'm sure they have enough flexibility and agility to move model mix because they all make different models anyway.
How are you mapping the CV cycle and how it's playing out? Analysts say that the cycle is reaching its peak. Optimists are betting on infra and e-commerce pickup. What's the sense that you're getting?
CV cycle will reach its peak only end of next year, which is when which is when the Euro 6 norms will kick in April of 2020. So till then, I think we're going to see a pretty strong pre-buy and therefore a strong CV cycle. That's number one. Number two, I think the CV cycle is more to do with the infrastructure spending that is going on in the road sector. And I think this 26 kilometers a day, 24, 26 kilometers a day of highway construction is really what is pushing the CV business and the construction equipment business in India, apart from increased activities in the mining sector. And this is what is pushing it. We really haven't seen a big push yet coming in from the e-commerce space, but that's going to be the next sector that will push smaller vehicles in the e-commerce space. And the good news about the e-commerce space is it is not weight dependent, it's more volume dependent. So the number of vehicles will only increase. It's nothing to do with axle loads.
Mr. Kalyani.